Maurice, Kaysia, thank you so much for coming. No, I want to look at your faces. Yes. So I have listened to the entire session and I'm thinking, what's next? So Maurice and Kaysia, before you go on, give us an overview of your business, the clients you serve, the markets you operate in. Over to you.
Ladies first, I'll defer to Kaysia.
You know, Maurice, I was going to say you're allowed to go this time before me. All right, so good morning. It's still morning, right? It's still morning, everyone. So at Scotiabank, we have the SME segment. So this is pretty much persons or companies that would have revenues or sales that is up to US 5 million. And if you have deposits, we're going to say deposit of 2.5 million. So that is the range. So it's very broad, right? Once you pass that threshold, we know we'll hand you over nicely to Maurice's team, who will manage that's the mid-market, and he'll share more about his segment. But pretty much for small and medium enterprises, we offer various products and services. So if you want overdraft facilities, if you want letters of guarantee, credit card, a term loan, we're able to provide any kind of support in that capacity. And we also do a lot of capacity building training for our customers. So pretty much that's what our segment currently, offers. And we have other programs that we also, listen to whatever the market is saying, and we may come up with new products or we may come up with new programs based on the needs in the market.
Thank you so much. Over to you, Maurice. Love to hear what's
Thank
happening
you.
in the
So,
CCBC
as you mentioned, I'm Maurice Nelson, Head of Corporate and Commercial Banking. And the Corporate and Commercial Banking team is made up of just under 50 bankers. As Kaysia mentioned, we cover the mid-market and above segment. And those would be customers who are generating revenues greater than 5 million US dollars or 800 million Jamaican dollars. We manage an asset base of just over $100 billion and liabilities of just over $200 billion. We have exposure in all industries. Our portfolio essentially reflects the economy, large exposures in wholesale, retail, tourism, transport infrastructure. But importantly, in addition to our lending activity, we provide a full range of financial services to our customers. And that includes the services that is within our portfolio, lending, our payment services, our merchant services. But we also collaborate with our teams locally. We work very closely with the corporate solutions team led by Sarah. We also work with our international global teams to ensure that we bring the full range of services that are required by our customers.
Well, thank you. That sounds like a very big portfolio between yourselves and Kaysia. What comes to mind, and I'm thinking now, how have you helped clients along the way? Do you have any success stories? Because you would have been working with these persons. Kaysia mentioned that you take them after she has taken them to this stage. So share some success stories with us.
So Maurice, you want me to go again, right? Please. Oh, all right. So I would say we have so many wonderful stories within this segment. I'm particularly very happy when I can look at companies that, when they started out with nothing and they've reached a lot. So I want to focus mainly on two of our customers. One of them, she's here, she's standing around the back. It's Leland Limited. Now, Leland is going to probably go over to Maurice at some point in time. That's to show you how, again, so she has been around for more than 40 years, right? And they started as a family, they're a family business, so they're into poultry meat, and so they distribute it on behalf of several major distributors, and they also have their own brand, right? So before they started out very small, it was a family just about 20 staff, and now they're at 55 staff members. And I would say They're almost, or they're there. They're a little bit over to the CCBC side because they are more than $1 billion. They're almost $1 billion in revenue per year, right? To show they have grown. And what we're seeing the story with Leyland is that when they came to us, pretty much they're a very small company. They needed help to expand. They expanded and now they're actually going to be they're building out their cold room. They just took some facilities from us now to expand that cold room so that they can now offer even more of their own products and services. And they recently, we nominated them for the Entrepreneur of the Year Family Business. And so she was one of the top 3 finalists. So last Saturday, I have to give her kudos because that is really showing. So we look at our customers, we took the time to nominate them because we saw how they have a really good, strong story that they started out so small and they've now expanded and now they were in the top 3. So even though they didn't win, they were the top 3. So it's a big, give another round of applause to Lena Limited. And they're able managed by our business banking team in the Halfway Tree branch. So we have a strong history. She has been banking with us for more than 20 years. So we've been there through them when they wanted to even right now, the merchant services product, which is our online platform, plays an integral role in terms of their operations to pay their suppliers, etc. So we're seeing how she used all of the products that we offer on our site to really grow our company, and we're really, really proud of them. And one other company I want to share, which again, I'm going to be passing on again to Maurice. So we have already passed on JamWest. So JamWest out of Negril, they actually are a fun adventure company now, but they started out first, was about 50 staff members, and they started in 2015. They now have 180 staff members, right? And they started out first from a 1/4 acre, and on a 2-acre property, where they're now doing multiple adventure tours, bringing persons from overseas as well as locally. And so they have a go-kart. Maurice, they have we went there recently. They have, they keep on expanding. So they have ATV. So if you're thinking about adventure, they actually every day think of something else to ensure that you can have really fun while you're in Jamaica. And just seeing how his daughter, she actually runs the company with her daddy. And the same thing with Andrea, she and her husband runs the company together. So we're seeing how women are taking up the space. And so in that space, Cheyenne has really played an integral role. Right now, she's the one that determines, how the company, they invest the money. We just actually recently gave them a new facility, which this was a huge one for small business in the very first history where we actually helped them because they're going to be expanding. They're doing catamaran tour, etc. So we're seeing how, we've been able to help companies when they started out with just one little, just a small amount of money, one little idea, and now they're a huge investment company.
Thank you, Kaysia. I believe Kaysia outlines it well in terms of, the work that we do with our clients. We start small. We support the growth, and then we pass them on to, another segment of the business, which is corporate and commercial, where our intention is to even, grow these entities into large corporations. I think the focus is around, women-led businesses, and we're really proud of the work that we have done. For as long as I can remember my career in corporate banking, we have had very formidable women on the other side negotiating with. They are the decision makers in the company, the CFOs, the CEOs. And one of the things I can say is that, women bring certain intangible to business that is very, very important. The attention to detail, which is very important to us as a bank, that is key. Right, because it's about managing risk. They are excellent at managing processes and putting structures in place. And that care that they bring to the workforce. I want to use one example, and it's now on our IG page, so I'm going to invite you to look at Scotiabank IG for the Island Grill store, because that's one that we are very, very proud of. This is a business that was started by Taylor. It's a long business, and when you think about what went into it, first of all, just the conceptualizing, how we are going to use the regular Jamaican food that we know that takes forever, right? And put that in a QSR format. How you grow that business over time, sustainable, and expand, and the pitfalls, and how you have moved through those business cycles. I think, that has been a story. It's a company that we have been associated with, and we are very proud of what they have achieved recently, opening a new store in the Brunswick. And that's an example of, how we have worked with our customers to help them grow.
Thank you. Are you hearing the passion? The connectivity? Yes. Kaysia, I'm thinking you would have worked with several SMEs, including those that you highlighted. What were some of the needs of those clients as they continued on a growth path?
So what we've been seeing over the last couple of years is that a lot of companies are looking for financing to expand their business, so that they're going to acquire like a warehouse, or they're actually going to be entering new markets, and they want to ensure that they have the right quality type of products. We've also seen where persons credit card facilities in terms of to help them with their day-to-day expenses. We've seen that as one big also request, and more so we've seen also overdraft facilities. So we've seen how they really ask for financing a lot to help them to grow. Another big area which we're really big on is we've seen that they've really look forward to support in terms of coaching. So we have had two programs that we really provide strong support for SMEs. Scotiabank Vision Achiever program, which everybody knows about. And last year we launched the SME Compass. And with that program, what we pretty much did was we brought in two accountants that stayed with a group of 20 entrepreneurs, and we basically taught them how to invest. We look at estate planning, taxation, how do you plan properly, and that thing. So we've seen those are the needs that I've seen our customers have expressed that they want, and we've seen how by giving them the knowledge, it has helped them to actually grow their business because they know how to make right decisions.
Okay, thank you so much. Maurice, earlier on you shared that you have a very expansive, a very big portfolio. And I know that you have some very large corporates in there that are leaders in their segment and in their markets. And they continue to grow. My question to you is, what are you seeing with respect to the strategies that they're employing or engaging to grow? What's happening?
Thank you. No, I think there was a comment earlier that this is the best time for businesses, and I think that's true. In my very long career in banking, I've never seen this level of optimism among business owners in terms of, the future. And so we are seeing where businesses are making significant investments to increase their capacity, right? We are seeing that across the sectors. We are seeing that in manufacturing. We are seeing that in, wholesale distribution, right across the board, right? We are seeing significant investment, for instance, in, property, in equipment for production. And that's very important because it brings, more jobs to our economy, and it retains a lot of value. There's a lot of work that is going on with import substitution. We have a very huge, import bill as it relates to food. And we are seeing manufacturers who are producing products. They are putting in the equipment to ensure that they can produce locally and produce competitively, right, against imports. And that is important. We're also seeing strong growth in the housing and the hotel sector, and that's important because it is also, while it brings short-term growth to the construction sector, especially in the hospitality, it's bringing people into Jamaica, that's driving consumption, and that also helps. And so that increase in demand, we believe, has been very, very important in driving economic activity. I think the optimism that we are seeing is based on, a few factors that I think are very, very important for these large businesses. And one is that it's a stable economic environment that we have been able to maintain over the last 10 years. It gives a lot of stability to the economy. It allows businesses to plan long term and to make those kind of decisions. And this is something that is very, very important for us to maintain as we go forward. Access to capital, I think, has been the other. Businesses now have, access to a range of sources for capital. We have private equity, and a lot of discussion have taken place this morning around that. We have the stock market, and that has been important. And certainly the bank financing, which has been, the traditional financing for institutions, continues to be there at affordable interest rates, which, is key for those businesses to, produce profitably.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to ask a question. You're going to think I'm crazy. Business owners, who wants to grow? Yes, yes. I know it's a resounding yes. I may not have seen all the hands. Kaysia, you have a lot of experience in mapping and following the growth trajectory of several companies. What are those top 2 or 3 factors that influence growth that you would love every entrepreneur here to know and to be aware of?
So I would say for being in this space and observing the importance of understanding your numbers, your financial statement, not just having an accountant who tells you that this is what it is at the end of the year, but you understand what's your profit, understanding what's your profit margin, also understanding, what's your revenue. Oftentimes I find SMEs don't know the difference between revenue and a profit. So it's good if they spend the time to really educate themselves or participate in programs that can help them to understand their numbers better. That's 1. 2, I would say in terms of ensuring that they have the right systems in place, such as to track their invoices, to track their payments, also even their customer information, or basically how you do your customer resource management. So in other words, when they have to make certain decisions to come up with promotions or even know how the business operates, that data is readily available and not manual. Because you find that half the times why SMEs have challenges because something is written on a paper, put on a corner, but it's not into a quick database so that they can have access. So somebody asks them, okay, how many customers do you have? When the database, it's 2,000. When was the last, what's the biggest purchase? They can tell you. So that having that data and investing in the right infrastructure, the tools to ensure that they themselves can understand how the business operates and make more, I'd say, wiser decisions to run the company. I think those are the 2 major ones. And if I should add a third one, is investing in themselves and the staff. Now, if you have staff members who are fully engaged and also feel valued, they in return will represent your brand very well, and the companies will grow because they are the ones that the customers are seeing every day. They are the one that interacts with everything. So if they don't feel valued or good at the company because you as a leader haven't, enabled them with the right tools or even doing programs to let them feel empowered, I believe if you don't have those 3 things, it could be a challenge for SMEs. So I'd say those would help them definitely to grow.
Okay, thank you. Maurice, I listened to you. I heard relationship coming out. So you have a long-standing relationship and experience in growing SMEs and converting them to corporates and even allowing them to continue to grow. When you reflect on that experience, what would you say would be the pitfalls that persons wishing to move, or companies wishing to move from an SME to a corporate, what are some of those pitfalls that they should avoid?
I probably will flip it a bit and address the question. What are the things that
they should do?
Companies who are successful do well, and where we see those shortfalls? And a lot of time was spent on an important factor this morning, and that is governance. Right? It's critical, and it is probably the most important element of the business when we look at it from a risk perspective. It's important to have the right skills. It's important to have the right level of experience that the business needs in order to manage the risk that are inherent in that business. And many times when we find companies struggling, it's because they do not have the right skill sets. They are not responding to the environmental factors in a timely manner. And so you find out that by time they get to the stage where they need to recover, it's sometimes too late or it becomes extremely challenging. And so a lot has been said on governance, and that is an important part. I think the second piece is structure and process, right? And ensuring that you have the necessary controls within your business to manage the risk that are there, right? If you're a wholesaler or retailer, your inventory is key. How are you managing that? And there are various risks that are inherent in the business. And so it's very, very important for businesses to understand what those risks are, ensuring that they have very strong controls in place to manage those risks. Because if they are not managed well, then it could impact the sustainability of your earnings, which is key to the growth of the business.
Okay, thank you so
I think
much.
the third thing is and I'll just go to 4 if you don't mind. Is the strategy, right? What's the strategy of the business? Which market are you in? What is going to be your position in the market? What's your value proposition for your customers? And that is very important because that has to be aligned with your governance structure and how you go about the business. And I want to touch lastly on capital. What is the appropriate capital structure for your business? And that's very, very important, especially when it comes to issue of leverage. So for instance, what is the right debt to equity mix, right? And a rule of thumb, 70-30 for us in Scotia, we consider 3 times earnings on a normal basis to kind of be that threshold, except for periods when you're having transformation, right? You're growing significantly and you need to make significant capital investments. And it's very important because the equity in the business provides a cushion during periods of downturns, right? Because you want to be able to have that capacity to raise additional capital if needed or to respond. And so leverage is a key thing. How you put that. I want to put in a plug here for the junior market, for instance. And junior market has been a benefit for commercial banking, right? Because it solves 2 things, 2 big things that we struggle with. The first is, 1, you get the governance structure when they go on. Secondly, you get the reporting, which is very important. On a quarterly basis, you're going to get those numbers. That's very, very important. And that ties into having structures and processes and so on to make sure that that happens. And I think the final thing is that it brings equity into the business, which now makes bank financing a lot more possible, right? And so, that junior market has served, a very good purpose, I believe, in the business sector, and it's part of the contribution of the growth that we are seeing.
Thank you so much. Maurice, global transaction banking, it has been established that it is a catalyst for sustainable growth. And of course, it can also provide opportunities for businesses to uncover new markets, new opportunities. I would love for you to share with us, how has Scotiabank positioned itself to ensure that we play a key role in ensuring that we provide this catalyst and the opportunities for our clients through global transaction banking to experience sustained and exponential growth?
Okay, thank you, Yvette. So global transaction banking refers to the online or electronic services that we provide as a bank. So it covers our proprietary online banking service that when you sign on, you can see your balances, etc. It covers the cash management services that are embedded in that. It covers our merchant services, solutions, etc. very wide scale services that you can access through that one portal. As a bank, we have made significant investments in building out our platforms, primarily for two reasons. One is we want to ensure that our clients are able to perform their transactions independently without us, which means that 24/7 access, ability to review your accounts, to do your transactions any time of day that is convenient to you. It brings a certain level of efficiency to your business, and it is also it's a cost-saving measure. Online transactions are significantly lower than doing it online. For instance, a check, I believe the last time I checked it, online transaction is 97% cheaper than a check. So if you think about the efficiencies, just think about having 24/7 access. Think about being able to do an international wire and have that delivered into your supplier US bank account within 5 or 10 minutes. Yes, we are doing that. Think about your local payments, being able to pay your suppliers easily, and you may, because it's widespread now, you may take that for granted, but a lot of investment have gone into that. I think the important thing that we need to ask is are customers really taking up this offering, and how are you organizing your business differently to ensure that this brings the level of efficiency. So we have customers, for instance, who for payroll, their payroll system is loading directly into ours, and it's a seamless process. They manage their supplier payments, their incoming payments through the system, and build that into their organization, which adds a lot of efficiency. So I'm saying here that we have invested significantly to deliver those services, and we are working with our customers through our global transaction banking specialists to ensure that they receive the value, right, from this investment.
Thank you. Kaysia, following up on Maurice's comments, what are some of those specific GTB transaction, global transaction banking transactions that are being done?
So, Maurice would have mentioned a few of them, but I think the one that I want to highlight a lot is we now have e-commerce. It's called Ecom Plus. So pretty much what we launched these products about 2 years ago, where pretty much if you already have a website and you need support, back-end support to ensure that you can collect from your suppliers overseas, we have 3 products that can assist you. So the first one is a virtual terminal. So that means simply you just have an account with us. You don't have to have a website for that one, but you want to facilitate payment from all over the world, wherever you are. We pretty much help you set up with that program, and the customers, you get a link and you share that link with your customers, which will now pop up how to pay you, and they pay you. So that's one option. The second option that we have, this one is a hosted payment gateway. So pretty much you already have a website, but you need for us to help you to get that website to interlink with our backend system. We provide that support to you so that you can now facilitate payments. Or the third option, this is where you have actually, is IPG we call it, where you do not have a website, but you want the website to be built from scratch. You want to get the back-end support. So we will get our developer to do everything for you to ensure that you can get full service of you being able to put up your website, get the payments from us, and facilitate that with your customers. So that's 3 products that we launched, which I believe is very critical and can help business to grow. And in addition to that, Maurice would have mentioned already our online banking platform, which pretty much kind of help companies to manage their day-to-day operation, as you say, and payments to different suppliers. But also, when you see persons sometimes don't know what runs through their account, you get your monthly statements, which you can now track everything, and you can go back, just save them every month, and you can go back. And we have special reports which can show you on a yearly basis to how your company is performing and where do you spend the money. So we have these different products that can assist you online, and also our merchant services as well.
And our clients are using them.
They are using them. So if anyone here is a Scotiabank customer that is not using any of these or are not aware of it, you can speak to our team. We have our business banking, our hub managers, and we have business banking officers here that you can also speak with, that can share with you and help you to get the process started.
Thank you.